Hi students, welcome back. See, in the previous video, I mentioned about the conversion of the concentrated ore into the oxide. Because from the oxide, getting the metal is easier than from their sulfide or any other ores. So, oxide conversion, there I mentioned about the roasting and the calcination, then the differences also. The calcination process will be applicable for carbonate ores, whereas roasting process for the sulfide ores, etc. Now, see here, first one is the grinding, means powdering. It is after getting the ore from the mines. Second one was concentration of the ore. Third part will be the extraction of crude metal, means still some impurities are there from concentrated ore. It is for conversion of concentrated ore into oxide, then reduction of oxide into crude metal. In the conversion, I have roasting process and the calcination process. This already mentioned after this. Now, I'll discuss the reduction of oxide into the crude metal. Metal oxide is there. To be converted into the metal, what the thing should happen? I have to go for the reduction process. So, reduction process usually involves or needs some reducing agent also. The reduction of the metal oxide into the metals needs certain reducing agent also, like the coke, carbon monoxide, or sometimes to reduce certain metal oxide we may need another metal also, because we know lithium, magnesium, etc. are the good reducing agent only. The metals, they are the good reducing agent only. So, to understand this reducing ability of this metal or this reducing agent, we should know that thermodynamic aspects of also. See, to know the reducing property of this reducing agent, we should know the thermodynamic aspects of these things also, or this reducing agent also. See, in the thermodynamics we have studied, if the standard free energy change is negative, then reaction is spontaneous or feasible also. See, in the thermodynamics we studied already. If a reaction is feasible or if a reaction is spontaneous, then its standard free energy change is negative. Delta G naught is negative. And How to calculate the standard free energy change? Delta G naught can be calculated using a formula. Delta G naught is equal to delta H naught minus T into delta S naught. What is this? Is standard enthalpy change. And this one is standard entropy change, and this is standard free energy change. See, to know that which is the better reducing agent to reduce, I have Cr2O3 should be converted into Cr. Which reducing agent should be used? To know that, I should know the thermodynamic aspects also, which is studied in the first PUC chemistry. See, there we mentioned if delta G is negative, what is delta G? Free energy change is negative. Reaction is spontaneous or reaction is feasible. Means this type of condition is that the reaction occurs. Delta G is 0, which is equilibrium. The reaction is at equilibrium. And delta G positive, which is reaction is non-feasible, or it is non-spontaneous. You know the meaning of what is the meaning of spontaneous reaction, which is non-spontaneous, etc. See, if a process happens without any external aid, then it is a spontaneous process. Like you take a dilute sulfuric acid in a beaker, to that add either the magnesium or the zinc metal. Zinc sulfate and the evolution of the hydrogen gas takes place without any external support. Then it is a spontaneous process. What is? So, if the delta G is negative, then the spontaneous process will be that delta G is 0, equilibrium, and the delta G positive, reaction is non-feasible or non-spontaneous. Now, how to calculate this delta G value? For that, you have to use the Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. What is the Gibbs-Helmholtz equation? Delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. What is delta G? Free energy change. Note on this. Already studied. Delta H is enthalpy change. And delta S is entropy change. And T is the temperature in Kelvin. Temperature in Kelvin. Note it, you already studied, so I am not going to explain much. Entropy means measure of disorder. Enthalpy is total heat content present in the system. Free energy is from the total energy, the amount of energy which is available to do useful work. and due to the reaction, all these changes, that is called the change in free energy. And delta G is calculated as G of product minus G of reactant. Delta H is calculated as H of product minus H of reactant. Delta S is calculated as S of product minus S of reactant. This is how to calculate also during the process. And to predict which is the better reducing agent also, I can use this thermodynamic aspect also. Now, how to calculate the delta G value? Delta G is equal to minus 2.303 RT log K. Equilibrium chapter again. This is again free energy change. This is universal gas constant. Note on this again. T is temperature in Kelvin scale, and K is equilibrium constant. Or I can have the another equation also, that is delta G is equal to minus RT ln K also. From this only I am getting this also. By converting the ln into the log, 2.0 I am going to get. So I can calculate the delta G through the experimental value also. So I can calculate the delta G through the experiment. Now, how the reaction takes place? Metal oxide plus reducing agent giving metal plus oxidized product. See, in the redox reaction chapter I mentioned, a reducing agent will not undergo the reduction. A reducing agent help in the reduction process and they will undergo the oxidation. So a oxidized product will be there, not that reduced product. Cr2O3 plus aluminium giving Cr plus Al2O3. CO 2Al, aluminium balanced, so it is 2Cr, it also balanced. O3 balance. And here see, this is the metal oxide, and see here, this is the metal oxide, aluminium is the reducing agent, and the oxidized product is the Al2O3, oxidized product, and this is the metal. And remember, reduction of a metal oxide using aluminum. See, remember here one more point. Reduction of a metal oxide using aluminum as a reducing agent is called as Goldsmith's alumino, note on this, alumino termite process. And remember, in the termite process, metal used is aluminium. That also can be asked in the competitive exam. Reducing agent used in termite process is aluminium. Note it separately. Competitive exam question can be asked. Going back to that delta G calculation. See here, delta G is equal to minus 2.303 RT log K. And remember, delta G negative, then reaction is feasible. So delta G negative should be there, then the equilibrium constant should be greater than 1. For this, K value should be greater than 1. If K is 1, then delta G becomes the 0, because 2.303 RT log 1. Log 1 is 0. So I'll get a 0 value, equilibrium. K is 0, delta G is 0, equilibrium. Reaction is at equilibrium. K is greater than 1, delta G is negative, then spontaneous. Now K is less than 1, delta G is positive, non-spontaneous. Note on this. Why non-spontaneous? You see, minus log less than 1 is 0 point is that means it is bar 1. Minus or minus become the positive. See, log of 0.9 is there, you see. Then what you do? Bar 1 I have to take. When the bar 1 is there, minus 1 is there. So minus or minus become the positive. So reaction becomes non-spontaneous. So note it properly. See, already mentioned, for a reaction to be feasible, delta G should be negative. And the delta G is calculated using delta H minus T into delta S formula, which is gives almost reduction of chromic oxide by aluminium, giving 2 chromium plus Al2O3. See, reduction process of this will be delta H is positive. Now see here. If delta S also positive, change in entropy, then what happens here to this equation? Delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S is equal to positive value minus T into some positive value. So positive value minus T, positive into minus is negative only, into that value. Now see here, in the lower temperature, delta H value predominate over the T delta S value, and sign of the delta H predominates over that, means delta G becomes positive at the low temperature. Simple example just here. See, delta G is equal to delta H value is 200 kilojoules, you see. Now what happens here? 200, you see. Delta G is equal to, now see, delta H is 200, you see. Simple example I am giving. Minus T into delta S. Delta S is 2, you see. And the temperature is 50. See here, delta H value predominate over this delta S value. Delta H value predominate over T delta S value. So when this delta H predominates, its sign will be there to the delta G. Understand things? Its sign is positive, means the delta G is positive. reaction is not feasible. And remember, the reduction of the oxide using the reducing agent occurs at very high temperature, not in the normal temperature. When we go for the hematite conversion into iron, we are going for more than 900 Kelvin also. Means high temperature. Now, see, as the temperature is increased, just you delta H value will not change to the much extent, that is positive only. Delta S also will not change to much extent, which was positive. But the T is changing. T is increasing. Delta G is equal to 200 minus 101 into 2. See, it is 100 minus 101 into 2 is 202. Definitely, value 202 is greater than the 200. And what was now? The sign of this 202, which is negative, will be there for the delta G also. Means reaction is feasible. Delta G negative, reaction is feasible or spontaneous. See, during this reduction process, you have to consider this reduction of volt and oxidation of the reducing agent as a two separate one. The reduction of the metallic oxide into the metal and oxidation of the reducing agent, when it comes separately, remember your net reaction should have the delta G negative, then the reaction is feasible. So net reaction Cr2O3 plus 2Al giving 2Cr plus Al2O3, delta G should be negative, such reaction is feasible. Whereas Al2O3 giving Al is the reduction of aluminium, Cr giving Cr2O3. In this, the net reaction will be, if at all, of course, I am not saying it is occurring, Al2O3 plus Cr giving 2Al plus Cr2O3, delta G becomes the positive over there, means this reaction will not occur. This reaction will not occur at all. Remember this. To be feasible, when we consider this oxidation of the reducing agent and the reduction of the metal oxide into the metal, the net delta G value, free energy change will be the negative. Then only such reactions occurs. Remember this fact. See, reducing properties of the various reducing agent means if you are given a list of reducing agent like magnesium, aluminium, coke, zinc, etc., which is the better reducing agent, or if a metal oxide is there, can the another metal reduce that metal oxide into a metal, can be known by Elingham diagram. Elingham diagram. So what is the use of Elingham diagram? By knowing the Elingham diagram completely, I can predict which is the better reducing agent to reduce the metal oxide, etc. or metal sulfide, metal halides. I can use this Elingham diagram. So I should know what is the meaning of Allingham diagram. See, what I drawn here is the Allingham diagram only. What I did? See, I took the temperature along the x-axis, standard free energy change along the y-axis. So, graph of, I repeat, the graph of standard free energy change versus temperature for what? For the, what I am doing here? See, Mg plus half O2 giving MgO, Al plus O2 giving Al2O3, C plus half O2 giving CO, C plus O2 giving CO2, Fe plus O2 giving Fe2O3. So what am I doing? I am drawing this graph of temperature versus the standard free energy change for the formation of oxides of the elements. Instead of oxide, I can make it as MgCl2 formation, etc. Then it is the formation of chloride. Or I can go for MgS, formation of the sulfide. So, graph of temperature versus standard free energy change for the formation of oxide or sulfide or halides or chlorides of various elements, that is called as Allingham diagram. Graph of standard free energy change delta G versus temperature T for the formation of oxide, halide or sulfide of various elements is known as Allingham diagram. Note on this. Note on this. I'll tell you how to predict also. Let us see this. So, certain characteristics you have to remember for this Allingham diagram, then you can easily predict. See, what are the things you are observing here? First one is almost all the graph are upward only. See, upward, 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 upward. Only for C plus O2 giving CO. Only for C plus O2 giving CO. Graph is downward. This is the first observation what I am giving. And second one, see which are below, they have the lower delta G values. You see minus 1200, minus 1100, minus 1000, minus 900, etc. Down and down, the standard free energy change is lesser and lesser. As we move up, the delta G value increases. Obviously, if we move down, delta G value is decreasing. And remember, lower and lower delta G value is more and more stable. Lower and lower delta G value more and more stable. Now see here, Mg plus half O2 minus 1200, whereas Al2 plus O3 giving Al plus O2 giving Al2O3 minus 1100. Which is lower value? Minus 1200 is the lower value, means magnesium is a better reducing agent because it is more stable. More stable can reduce the less stable one, but less stable cannot reduce the more stable one. So that also is there. Third observation is all are straight lines. No curve will be there. All are straight line only. Just you see straight line up here. Then again sudden change, but it said again the straight line only. Fourth one, at particular points, there is a drastic change. And remember, this drastic changes occurs when the melting point or boiling point of that metal oxide reaches. This drastic change will be there at a melting point or the boiling point. Here is the melting point. So, see, this drastic change occurs at its melting point. Bye bye. Again and again I repeat. Read properly, make your own notes so that you can get a very good marks. Thank you.